Hello everyone, it's Myeongkir. Today I am going to read S66101, The Midwife's Apprentice, Chapter 5. The Merchant. Now it was high summer, with the hay drying in the field and all the village praying for the rain to hold off until the grain was safely cut and stored away for winter. Midwife, needing to replenish her stores of leather flasks, nutmeg, pepper, and the water in which a murderer had washed his hands, made plans to attend the uh, the Sweden's Day Fair at Governor on the Green. The beadle had been to fairs, but only to beg a turnip or some pig bones for a stew. Never had her belly been full enough for her to lift her head and look around. She dearly longed to accompany the midwife, but still being brainless brat, she was afraid to ask. And so the day before the midwife's departure, Jane set Biddle a score of tasks to accomplish in her absence and made ready to leave without the girl. The Biddle knew this was an important journey, for the midwife soaked herself in the mill pond, dried her hair in the sun, and sharpened the pleats in her best wimple. She sang to herself as she worked, a tuneless tune. The beetle supposed a witch's spell until she recognized it as a summer is a coming in, sung by someone who lacked the practice and the heart and the sweetness to sing. On her way back to the cottage, laden with newly washed clothes to spread in the sun, midwife tripped over Walter the blacksmith's second best pig and fell. Left leg twisted beneath her. A furious oath made Biddle truly fear she was a witch, for only someone who had struck with the devil could know such words. Although bellowing that Biddle was stupid as a woodchuck and clumsy as a donkey in a dress, midwife allowed the girl to help her into the cottage and onto her straw bed. Broken, by God's whiskers, broken, she moaned, feeling her ankle, and she set about telling Biddle how to pack the bonus herbs and wrap the rags about the limb. Biddle feared this meant that because the midwife could not walk, she could not work, thus would need Biddle's help no longer. Actually, it meant the Biddle was to go to the Sweden's Day Fair in the midwife's place. The joy in Biddle's heart warmed her insides and lit her face. Even though the midwife's ranting about lack of wit and the dire consequences if she were to lose the silver pennies or spend too much, come on with the wrong things, the blazing sun of St. Sweden's the morning dried the hay, to gladden the villagers, and so Biddle, on her way, to Gobnet on the Green with 4 silver pennies, an onion and a hunk of bread, and a cheerful heart to get to the Gobnet on the Green. Biddle took the road north that followed the river, past the mill, turned east at Stephen the Fletcher's cottage, cut across the abbey fields ablaze with the violet blue flowers of the flax, turned north again at Bury under the Birkenhead, then meandered easterly and northerly until it ended in the glory. There was the St. Sweden's Day Fair in the market square of the Gobnet on the Green. Biddle was too excited to eat along the way, so she gave her bread and onion to a hungry goat uh, that then followed her near all the way to Gobnet. When she arrived at the fair, she did not know whether her lightheadedness was from hunger in the sun or the thrill of being in the midst of such gaiety and color, and she did not care. She passed through the forest of bright booths with flags and pennants flying, offering for sale every manner of wondrous thing, copper kettles, rubies and pearls, ivory tusks from mysterious animal, cinnamon and ginger from the faraway lands, tin from Cornwall, and bright green woolen cloth from Lincoln. She laughed at the puppets, wondered at the soothsayers, applauded the singers, and cheered for the racing horses. Her nostrils quivered at the smells of roasting meats and fresh hot bread and pies stuffed with pork and raisin. But her guts still trembled with excitement, and she was content just to smell. As forenoon gave way to midday, Beetle wandered the fairgrounds. As midday turned to late afternoon, she remembered why she was there. She sniffed all the spices for free before buying nutmeg and pepper. The hangman was doing a brisk trade in murderers' wash water. But Beetle was at last able to secure a bottle at the end of the street of the cup makers. The Beetle was told just before the church of Saints the Dinget and the Vigor she could find the best prices on leather flasks, and so she did. The merchant's booth was also filled with sundry other wares for wondering at: shiny brass needles, ribbons of red and lavender, copper spoons and bronze knives, the boots of fine red leather with embroidery on the toes, and combs of polished wood and ivory. The Beetle had never used more than her fingers to comb the birds and thistles from her hair, and probably could have lived her life so doing. But on one of the combs, between the two rows of teeth, was carved a sleeping cat. He looked so much like the cat, Beetle knew that she ached to own it. For long minutes she held the comb, looked at it this way and that, smelled the fragrant wood, and admired the sleeping cat. Then, with a great sigh, she put it down and turned to bargain with the merchant for the flasks, although, or perhaps because she was new at the bargaining game, the Beetle handled it with such charming solemnity that the merchant took a fancy to the skinny young thing, and with a broad wink threw the comb with the cat into the pack with the flasks. Comb those long curls till they shine, girl, and sure you will have a lover before nightfall. Another wink, and the merchant turned to his next customer. The comb was hers. Beetle stood breathless for, for fear someone would snatch it back. Never had she owned anything except for raggedy clothes and occasional turnips, and now the comb with the cat was hers. The wink and the comment about her curls, though Beetle didn't know it, were also gifts from the generous merchant, and they nestled into Beetle's heart and stayed there. The Beetle settled the pack on her back and started for the village. In front of the church of Saint Dingat and the Vigor, she stopped to pull the comb through her hair. Curls, were these tangles and curls? The Beetle leaned over the horse, the trough, and examined the hair in the still water. Definitely curls surrounding a thin little face, with big eyes and a pointed chin, big nose and big ears, and the collie's hair at the fair. This is me then, Beetle, she said, and looked again. Alice, hey Alice, I need you, said the man, pulling at Beetle's sleeve. She looked about for this Alice. Alice here? What do they say? He asked, thrusting a piece of leather with marks on it under Beetle's eye. She blinked and looked at him. Who is Alice? Don't be funny, Alice. These here marks are supposed to show my winnings on the horse race, and I need you to read them to be sure Cop the groom is not cheating me. What do he say? I'm not Alice. Of course you are. The man leaned over and peered closer into Beetle's face. Wait, he shouted, spraying her with spit. Oh, you're not Alice? You look like Alice. Where is Alice? Alice? Off he went to find Alice to make sure Cop the groom was not cheating him on the horse race. The Beetle stood perfectly still. What a day. She had been winked at, complimented, given a gift, now mistaken for the mysterious Alice who could read. Did she then look like someone who could read? She leaned over and watched the face in the water again. This face could belong to someone who can read and has curl, and could have a lover before nightfall. And this is me, Beetle. She stopped. Beetle was no name for a person, no name for someone who looked like she could read. Following, she thought a minute, and then her face shone as though a torch were fired inside her. Alice, she breathed. Alice sounded clean and friendly and smart. Oh, this, you could love someone named Alice. She looked back at the face in the water. This then is me, Alice. It was right. So the newly called Alice, shifted the pack on her shoulder, and with her head back and her bare feet solid on the ground, she headed back to the midwife's cottage and never noticed when it grew cool and dark for the heat and light within her. Chapter 6, the naming. The midwife had lost another tooth and was hobbling about on a broken ankle, throwing copper pots and cooking spoons about the cottage in her anger at age and teeth and life. Get out of my sight, you dung beetle, before I squash you. Alice, what did you call me? Not you, me, Alice. My name is Alice. Alice? Snorty like the Walter Spacey's great black horse. Toby, Alice, you look more like a toad or weasel or the mud hen than an Alice. As she punctuated each name with another pot thrown in the girl's direction, Beetle thought to go out. Out was no punishment. Out was where there were no kettle to stir, no bottles to fill, no smoky cooking fire. Out was where the air was cool this summer morning, although the sun was warm. Out was where Beetle had spent most of her life. Out was where the cat was. She wanted to tell him about her new name, unless she had not dared yet say it aloud. But now that she had said it to the midwife, she wanted to tell everyone. Alice, she said to the cat, who rubbed and purred against her ankle, I have a name now, Cat, and you must also, so I can call you to breakfast on cold, foggy mornings. I'll say some names. You tell me when I have found the right one. Beetle sat on the dusty ground, legs crossed. The cat sat and stared at her. Willow, she asked. Purslane, gypsy, moth, lentil? The cat just stared. Beetle stood and walked toward the river, one hand across her belly, the other stuck in her mouth. Beetle was thinking. Brownie, millstone, fleecy, gone completely daft. Have you, Beetle? Said the miller as he passed. Alice, said Beetle. Alice who? Who Alice? I am Alice, not Brad or Dung Beetle or Beetle. Alice. Bah, said the miller. May as well call a rock Alice or a ship Alice. Bah. Earth Pine, continued Beetle to the cat. Dartmoor, cheesemaker. Holly, pork. Who you calling pork? You whiffle-brained dung beetle. That's from the blacksmith's lardy daughter, the grommet. The cat, the beetle, said. And I am Alice. You are Midwife? The grommet smith replied, and laughed as she waddled away. The beetle sighed. This business of having a name was harder than it seemed. A name was of a little use if no one would call you by it. The cat wound himself around Beetle's ankle and purled. Columbine, cuttlefish, purr, the cat responded. Cloudweed, shrub-tide, wimble, purr, cat responded. Horse, purr, the cat demanded. Pearl, Pearl, the cat responded, and that was that. While Beetle and Pearl walked in the sunshine, waiting for the midwife's temper to cool enough for them to bag bread and cheese and onion or two, the villagers brought in the last sheaves from the field, and hay harvest over, sat down to eat and drink and give thanks the rain. Give thanks the rain had held off. The several of the village boys with too much ale, too few wits, left the celebration looking for trouble to cause, and they found Beetle. You dung Beetle, give me a kiss, called the boy with red hair. Alice, whispered Beetle, surrounded by boys and abandoned by the cat. She calls you Alice, Will. Thinks you're a girl or a fine lady down from the manor. You're friends with the dung Beetle, Lady Alice. The boy with the broken teeth took another pull from his mug of ale and spat at Will. The Beetle took advantage of Will's distraction to duck beneath his arm, loop a skirt between her legs, take off down the road to the river. The boys were faster, but they were drunk, and Beetle reached the river before they did. She looked for safety. An open field lay to her right. They could catch it there. They were not that drunk. Straight ahead was the river, but she could not swim. No one could. Water was for horses to drink, an occasional quick bath before weddings and such. A sudden breeze rustled the leaves of a willow, as if it were calling to Beetle. Up she climbed into the branch, treed like a fox, waiting for what would happen next. Pushing and shoving each other, the boys encircled the tree. Dung Beetle, you must be afeard, so far from your dung, they chanted. Come down and we'll take you home, and lay you softly into the dung heap. deep, deep, deep into the dung heap. More air, swinging and chanting and pushing and shoving. Suddenly, the boy with red hair lost his footing on the slippery bank and tumbled into the churning river. Go on, Will, get out of there, said Snaggletooth Jack. Can, said Will, spitting water and floundering. Throw me something to grab. But the water pulled Will under for a moment, and the boys, the grown sober and scared, knocked one another aside in their attempts to get out of there to a place they could claim they had never left. When poor Will's drowned body was found, so that when Will surfaced again, still spitting and floundering, no one was there but Beetle in the tree, looking down at him with her eyes great in her white face. Beetle, help me, throw me something. Beetle shook her head. I'll be too scared. He disappeared again, and Beetle crept carefully out on an overhanging branch to see where he had gone. Sputtering up he came, too full of water to call her name, back for help, only looking at her as his arms slapped the water around him. Beetle crept farther out on a branch. It dipped toward the river. Very slowly, inch by inch, as the boy struggled not to sink, she crept out until the tip of the branch nearly touched the water. Grab it, Will, she said, and he grabbed it. Slowly, slowly, he pulled himself along the branch until from his pulling and the Beetle's weight, it cracked and they both fell into the river bank. We lay there while Beetle watched to see was he alive or was he dead? Then he spat river water all over her skirt, and she knew he lived to bedevil her again. You didn't run with the others, he said. They were brave, Beetle. No, I've been not brave. I near pissed myself. I did it for else. You'd have drowned. Gone to hell. A drunken, a loud-mouthed bully like you, and I would have helped send you there. I couldn't have that. Now could I? You have pluck, Beetle. Alice, you have pluck, Alice. They looked at each other, pretended they hadn't, and went home. That night, Beetle had a dream. The Pope came to the village and called Alice, and the king married the midwife, and the cat left. The end.